Welcome to the Trash or Cash podcast.
Trash your cash, trash your cash. Trash your cash, trash your cash. Is the idea trash or is cash? Let us know. Yes, maybe so, or for sure, it's a no. Should we stop while we ahead and turn around or it's a go? Trash or is cash? Go on ahead, submit your vote. Hey yo, check dig, you're now tuned in to Trash or Cash podcast. The show where the host will present a new idea and debate whether it's trash or cash. But the final decision is solely up to you, the audience.
Welcome to the Trash or Cash podcast, where we entrepreneurs. This is like for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs, so you know it's going to be good if it's that, right?
Of course.
Then the idea is simple: a couple entrepreneurs get together. We pitch each other our wild and crazy ideas, and to see if they're like, if they have legs for them. They could be a good business, or not. And then how we determine that is like I tell you something, and you'll either think it's either a good idea or cash, and you can hold up on the paddles, or trash. And then you got to tell me why. And it's that simple. And then there's no shade. It's like, hey, thank you. And the reason is as I might have shared before, is like we all have these ideas buzzing around in our heads, and sometimes they're just taking up mental space that we could be using for something better. Agreed. So it's like, if it's really good, and I call that like a zombie idea, it keeps coming back and back and back, and then eventually it manifests, or it's just bugging us, or we're never going to have time for it, but we would like to see it in the world. There's that too. So like, don't ever be afraid to share something like, oh, but I really want to do it, because you never know, and who might reach out to you and be like, I like that idea. Let's talk some more. And then, this became very fruitful. So this is never just empty conversation. This is all about sharing ideas and then seeing if there's an action to take after that. So sound good?
Sounds real good.
Yeah, okay. So awesome. So, you never know which one's going to be the next unicorn. And, there will be trash, but something's going to be cash, right?
That's very true.
So today, guys, my guest is Xavier Marrero, or Javier Marrero. What do you like better?
In English, Xavier.
Yeah.
Right, but everybody calls me X.
Yeah.
In Spanish, Xavier.
Xavier, I never heard that version of it. Thank you for educating me.
Definitely.
I don't know all the Spanish that there is to know. I'm Puerto Rican, but I was born here, so nació aquí, and I have that problem that I don't get it all. So
understand.
It is what it is. That's the Americano blessing and curse.
Very true.
So here was I should know about you real quick, and then you can share. You are in the credit repair space and business, small business credit specifically.
Yeah, so I do credit repair for personal and for small businesses.
Cool. And I think every entrepreneur has dicey credit.
Well, the funny thing is over 80% of Americans have less than perfect credit, especially entrepreneurs.
Because they tax you and you just never know. Like, I don't want to get into that because it gets hard, but like there's always these things that pop up if you buy a house and you forget to pay one electric bill or a gas bill, or there's one thing that you forgot, and then it's like they never got in touch with you, or they tried to and you thought it was spam, whatever, and then the next thing you know, it's a judgment, right?
Very
so like
true.
that crap, right?
Yeah.
So
I see
that's
it all the time.
You ain't doing enough things if somebody ain't messing up your credit somewhere. Like you just haven't done enough in your life if you ain't got messed up credit, to be honest with you. So,
Right.
Anything else I left out?
Other than that, like I said, I love helping people win. So, I love connecting people to other investment, other than getting your credit fixed and help you get funding, right? Because that's another thing we do is we help people get funding. It's what are you going to do with those funds? Let's make sure that you don't do what the typical, especially minority like us do, where we go blow the money and we live the moment. We live it for the moment. It's more like, how do we invest this money and make this money work for us, even though we're using somebody else's money?
So you get them into buying the assets to pay for the liabilities.
You got it.
Yeah, instead of the liabilities first. Like house or car, or rental property or car. Well, if you get the rental property, then you got the income, and the income from the rental property could pay for the car. Think like that. Don't just get the car.
Very true.
So, I usually like to ask people, or my guests, 3 questions. I kind of know you, but they might not. And so this is a way of them getting to know you better, and also kind of seeing where you're coming from, what you think about, what you stand for, and that kind of thing. I know we both go to the same church, so I do have an idea, but they don't know that. So Let me handle that real quick. So what are you most proud of?
Man, what I'm most proud of is my parents. Yeah, so the reason why I'm very proud of my parents is because, growing up in a certain area in the ghetto, in the hood, right? I seen so many parents that didn't work out, or a parent that was using drugs, or a parent that just wasn't ever there. Where I was blessed to have both of my parents. So I have my mom and my father. They're still together today. And my father's a very hardworking man. So he taught us a lot of principles and morals, and then basically hard work ethic. But then my mom, she's a little different. She comes from like a real gangster family, very gangster family. So she taught us those rules, you know, just principles and morals in those areas that to today I still use, and especially for business. And this made me very successful following those rules and principles and morals that they applied on me.
Were either one of them an entrepreneur?
They were not. They were both factory workers.
No wrong with that, but I always ask because it's kind of like where do you get the bone from, the DNA to do this kind of stuff. So I think for me it was like not so much my father, my grandfather was like the guy. He was like start a store, start a barbershop. He was doing all these things. So it's like he I think that's it. My father does his thing, but he's not the entrepreneur type. He's more the creator type. What are you most excited about right now, like in your life?
Man, I think what I'm most excited about is the new season that's coming. And let me explain what I mean. Business, we're doing very well. We've been doing very well for the last 6 or 7 years. But I think mindset-wise, spiritually, I'm connecting a lot more than what I did before. And then when it comes to family, I'm very big on family. But one thing that I didn't realize and I was kind of neglecting was being present at the moment. So yes, I love to work and I love to be with family, but when I was with family, I was still working. So now I'm defining the difference between working and being with family. And honestly, I'm super excited because this year I started that and I see myself not even more successful because the success is coming, but I see myself a lot more happier because the money I can't take with me, but memories I can.
Do you employ any of your family? Like, do they work in your business with you?
I do have some of my family members that are employed by me, yes.
So was that always, or like that's what you mean? You're starting to get that more and more conscious of that and making that and being intentional.
Well, so to answer, there's two parts to that. So my younger brother's always been my business partner, even though he still does corporate America. But when I had other family members working for me, but I think my point is more like, regardless if they're working for me or not, it's just being able to unplug when it's those family environments. It's when it's getting together with the family and friends versus if my phone rings, I'm like, that's money. Let me pick this up. Or that's a problem. I have to provide a solution.
Yeah, we all got that, especially in the real estate space. You cannot not answer that phone sometimes. Like it's you or nobody. And, you know, I get that. So especially if you run a business, what do you want to be remembered for?
Man, what I want to remember for is for the impact that I cause in people's life. And it's not just financially, physically, mentally, and spiritually. So I tell my son every single time, I want to work so hard and I want to have such a big impact that when you walk in a room and I'm not there, you're respected for the things that I have accomplished and for what I stand for.
You know, it's crazy. And I mentioned my dad. That's actually what happened with me. But it used to irk me because he was a pastor and they're like, your father know what you out here doing? You know you shouldn't be doing that. That's Pastor Lou's kid. And it used to piss me off. But I mean, not for nothing, but that's like your extension. That's a superpower. Yes. To be so good at something or be so impactful that people are telling your kids, you better start acting like that. I know your dad.
Right.
We don't get that anymore. Like that doesn't exist anymore. People don't even care. So that's actually, thank you for bringing me back that memory, actually. I didn't like it then, but I get it now. So that's cool.
It's one of those things when you're younger, we hate it, right? But when you're older, you're like, yeah. You start doing it to your kids and you're like, well, this is why my parents did this to me.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, you know, I think it's formational to be sure. And hopefully it's always in a positive way, or like the kid appreciates it later, because we never know till later on. Like looking back, it's like, oh yeah, I needed that, like a whooping or whatever. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. All right, so this next part is pretty simple. This is the idea part. This is the trash or cash part. Gotcha. So you're gonna come with an idea, pitch, whatever. It could be yours. It could be somebody else's you heard. It could just be something you even just saw and you were like, yo, I saw this app or whatever, and I thought it was really cool. But what do you think? Do you think it's gonna win? Right. And there's no real rules to it other than like you come up with it and I kind of say, it's trash or cash, and then this is why. Like no shade, nothing like that. It's just, hey, this is why. Because we're both business people and we have different views on this. So, and then you just, when you put your judgment up, you just show which one it is, right? So you want me to go first or you want to go first?
I can go first.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So, the conversation we had earlier today, definitely having an idea come up. And this basically was entrepreneurs having access to grants. So basically creating an app which basically just helps these entrepreneurs fill out the application, because a lot of times, as entrepreneurs, we know there's money out there. And when we go try to get it, it's like these applications come up and we're like, man, do I need to go get my assistant? Who's part of my admin that can fill this out for me? But a lot of times we have to personally fill that out, right? So to having an AI technology, I know you coming from the tech world, right? Having an AI technology that basically fills out that application for that entrepreneur to almost guarantee them that grant.
All right, so it's cash because everybody needs money. I got to witness this a million different ways, from nonprofits or when I worked in the fire department. Like, they had a specific person that would write the grants, and they would just pull some random firefighter who was stuck, like they couldn't work in the field no more because they were hurt or they were out for a while. Go write this grant, and now suddenly you're out here trying to like learn all sorts of stuff, and they would be successful. It would take them like a year or two just to get one grant because they had to figure it out, right? Wow. So I can see this changing many lives and getting rid of a lot of waste, because the money's out there. I mean, the government pulls it from somewhere, or either the nonprofit or the entrepreneur. And like a Match.com, like you pull these resources together, and you fill out a form, and it's like, hey, you fit this. You're a minority business, more than 50% owned. You have all these things. Here are all of them. Pick 3. We'll fill them out for you, and then like let's say your first 3 are free, but then it keeps all your information, so that like it'll keep alerting you to new ones until it really learns who you are. And then like anything, you swing, you miss, and then suddenly hit. And I think the world needs it. I think tech companies need it. I think people that are in Silicon Valley, from venture funds, all that, they all need that, a version of that, because it's going to eliminate just so much confusion. And it's really, I mean, honestly, it's like sorcery now. These people that actually can make these happen, they can do one at a time, but it's really hard work. And so, yeah, that's definitely a dope idea. I got one for you. It's based off of so my business, Trashmitter, right? Like it's a trash business, on-demand trash service, Uber for Trash. We do deal with 2 to 10 bags to remove it from your Airbnb, your short-term rental, your property management on a turnover. Cleaning company needs to get rid of trash. They don't want to have to take it to the dump themselves or mess up their car. We handle all that, and then it's going to expand beyond that. One of the things I wanted to do was for small businesses, right? So because we're in the Airbnb space, I call it T3, and the top 3 things that these short-term rental hosts, vacation rental hosts go through regularly that the cleaners have to refill is T3: trash, toilet paper, and paper towels, right? Like, that's real basic. So I wanted to create with a friend of mine this package where it's like maybe 3 package subscription package, kind of like think Dollar Shave Club,
yes,
for materials for Airbnbs, where it would just either go to you or to your cleaner and constantly refill on a monthly basis. But here's the USP, the unique selling proposition. It would report, like, how when in small business they say go get a Staples card or a gas card to start building up your business credit. We would do the same thing with this subscription service and bill you like a 60-day, what do they call that? Not an invoice, bill of, I don't know. You know how they it's like you have 60 days to pay kind of thing, and it reports like a credit line.
Yes.
Okay.
So buying power.
Yeah. So it would, like the Staples and all the other ones. So anybody, not just Airbnb hosts, but if you were a small business trying to build up business credit, you have a home office, right? Don't you use toilet paper in your home office? Don't you use paper towels? Don't you use trash bags? So this could be built for anybody trying to build up their small business credit as an additional thing that could be written off by the things you already use because you have a business, and help you build up your business credit. And I call it T3 because it's more specifically geared towards Airbnb hosts and all that. But it helps my brand, because it would be my brand, trash paper towels, trash, all that, recyclable stuff, be part of my brand. But it also helps the entrepreneur sells, gives value. Like, it actually helps you build your business credit. What do you think about that?
I won't say that's cash. The reason why is because we live in a world that it's all about convenience, right? As a owner of Airbnbs and having cleaners, I think a lot of time is wasted with these small little items that are very important, right? The toilet paper must be there. Those other items you mentioned must be there. So I really think this could be a very great idea. You're definitely creating a solution, right? A lot of people, it's funny. You had Eugene here not too long ago, good friend of mine who does Airbnb. And I remember when he first started, the biggest thing is him having phone calls coming in, and he's out of the state, like, we're missing this. And
we can't find the towels.
Correct.
Whatever, all that, yeah.
Yeah, so this definitely will be very profitable because I said, not only is it convenience, which is to me the biggest thing that any consumer looks for. The second thing is that you're basically giving them an option to build their credit, which a lot of companies don't offer that. And this being a small ticketed item from the beginning, right? Because they have those tiers.
20, 30, 40 bucks or something like that.
Very
That's
affordable.
It. Yeah. And then you just never have to worry about gas like Amazon. It's like that. It just comes and then like you use it, you don't use, you have extra, you spread it around.
And then for the business owners that work from home, a great way to use that as a write-off.
Right. Yeah. Because you got to wipe your behind sometime.
Right. And again,
business or not, right?
And you can separate that from the personal. So I think that's definitely an awesome idea, my brother.
Yeah. I got to get on that. We were looking for a bank to kind of back us on that and make it like an official trade line. That's what it is. Trade lines. It's a trade line.
Gotcha.
So we're setting up a trade line specifically for small business owners and Airbnb hosts and cleaners to build up their business credit while they're trying to get their foot in the door here.
Well, we need to partner up then.
Then maybe. All right, see, that's it. It's a wrap. We already know we're gonna get to work on this. All right, well, not for real. I might hit you with that because
definitely
parts of it are already built out. So cool.
That's what's
last thing, and this is up to you. You got like a favorite podcast, a book, something that like you want to give an entrepreneur and say, look, one thing that changed my life. This is this book, this podcast, whatever. This is it. What do you got?
Oh man, definitely. It's going to be a book. It's The Power of the Subconscious Mind. Man, I have to tell you, once I read that book, it made me realize why most of the days I will wake up saying, hey, I'm going to go kill it today. But my subconscious mind's like, sit your behind down. You're a nobody. You failed. You look what you lost. You know what I mean? Look how people look at you. So what it happens is a lot of people, especially as entrepreneurs, we're self-driven, we're goal-oriented, right? But we don't have a boss to tell us, hey, get up at this time, clock in at this time, take a break at this time, and work at this time, right? So what we do is we're basically left on our own. We're our own boss, which could be a gift or a curse, right? The curse could be, hey, you wake up whenever you want to, you're not going to get any work done, you're taking extra breaks, and you're clocking out early. Well, that's going to be your curse. Your gift is that, yes, you can wake up super early. You're working for yourself, right? And at the end of the day, you're building your own dream, right? Long term, very beneficial. But this is what happens. A lot of us been beat up in life a lot, right? Even from little kids to childhood and adulthood. But what happens is your subconscious mind is constantly remind you of all the failures you ever had, right? And you don't even know that. Your mind actually thinks of more negative things than positive things. So when you have control of your mind, you're actually able to control your mind. And if you tell your mind today, I'm going to go and kill it in business, your mind is like, yes, we are. This is what's going to happen. Versus the average person that's walking around that does not have control of their subconscious mind. When they're saying we're going to kill it, their subconscious mind is like, no, we're not. Sit your butt behind. You're a nobody. And people don't understand that. And I share this quick trick that everybody should probably start doing. When you go to bed, right, open up, and I use Blessed and Unstoppable, right? It's a podcast on YouTube, Blessed and Unstoppable. I hit play, make sure it's 30 minutes or longer, and I put it under my pillow loud enough where I can hear it, but low enough where I can still fall asleep. The reason why is because your subconscious mind never goes to sleep. So it's hearing these positive things. And this gentleman is talking about God. He's talking about entrepreneurship. He's talking about success. He's talking about how everyone's a champion. You're a winner, right? So what happens is when you wake up with that vibe. You wake up with that energy. You wake up thinking positively versus waking up and thinking negatively because you're grabbing your Instagram and you're looking at somebody on a jet and you're like, man, I wish I could do that one day. So that book is very powerful.
So that was two. So thank you for that. And I have heard about that, putting that thing under your, like just that low thing. You know what a scotoma is? Have you ever heard that word before?
No.
It has to do with this. Look it up when you get a chance. Scotoma. It's a blind spot in your mind that you don't even know is there. It's kind of like what they say, you don't know what you don't know. But like kind of what you were touching on here is reminding me of that. It's something I learned from this other guy, Dr. Obama Bowen. Maybe I'll get him on here one day. But yeah, so you reminded me of that. So tit for tat, power for power. So you had the power of the subconscious mind. Have you ever heard of the book The Power of Broke by Damon John?
No.
You got to get that because it's about the hustler street mentality and how he came up with FUBU and all that. But I like it because if you came de la calle like we did, like you're going to get all of it and how he navigated that and the thought process. Really good book. It's not super hard to read, but like, good life lessons. And I think you'll identify with it a lot more than say any, other books, let's just say that you didn't have that life experience. So that's a good one. I always liked The Power of Broke because it's just, it's the hustler. It's using the hustler mentality for good versus evil, right? Mm-hmm. So that I dig that one a lot. I got one for you. So like, what's an idea? Okay, so this could be either or. Either an idea that you have that needs to be debunked. Like you hear it all the time. Somebody says, hey, if you do this, your credit's going to be better. And you're like, every time you hear it, you're like, it's like a cliche or it's wrong or it's like contrary to what everybody, like what's one controversial idea that you might have, whether it's in credit or just in life that you hear so much and you're like, no, the opposite. What you got anything like that?
Yeah. So as soon as you said it, the first thing I thought of is what we've been taught is hurry up, close out pay off the credit card, close it out, and cut it up. That's the worst thing you could do. And a lot of times we were taught that because people are like, hey, this is a high interest credit card. You got it when you was 18. Now you can get a better interest rate. Close that account down. Wrong. Once you close that account down, you're going to take a way bigger hit than keeping the account open and then just basically using it bare minimum for like gas once a month and just paying it completely off so you don't pay no interest.
To that end, is there a way to, if you had like 20 credit cards and like you want to get it down to 3 because of whatever, entrepreneurs, you're always trying to get whatever credit you can get. Right. What's the better way to do that without having to like manage? Because that's a lot of management of stuff. Is there a better way to like wean yourself off so that it's not like just sitting there open with all these open lines?
No. So in the credit world, the more accounts you have and the more limit available you have, the better it is. So to answer your question from going to, as an example, from 20 to 3 cars, I would definitely tell you not to ever do that. One, you're going to remove so much age of history from your credit report, which is 15%. 2, you're going to go ahead and remove a lot of buying power, which is your credit limit, which you always want to be under 30%. That's why I tell people are like, well, they told me to get more credit. I don't really need it. No, get it because it makes you look better and your utilization is going to go down, which makes you look like you know what you're doing and you're not living outside of your means. So yes, to answer that, don't ever try to shrink down the amounts of credit cards you have.
So yeah, man, thank you. I know this one's a little short because we're both under a time constraint, but wanted to thank you. I'm going to shout out the spot. I know you didn't get a good look at it, but this collab, we're part of it. It's a bunch of entrepreneurs got together in the real estate space, tech space, crypto space, and we all kind of reside here. We have a membership. We get to use this place, all these meeting rooms over there. So you're perfectly welcome to come check this out another day when you're not so busy. And I think you probably got a speaking career if you haven't done it yet in your future because you're hitting all that points. You're very polished. I mean, I don't know. I mean, is that happening? Because it looks like from here, it looks like that's where you're gonna head.
I mean, that's most likely that's where I'll be heading to.
Okay,
man.
No, and yeah, I think you got it. I don't think there's enough Latinos doing that kind of stuff, and everything I know about you is congruent with me seeing you as one of those ET kind of personalities, right? Like you got that. So
it's crazy you mentioned ET. I shared stage with him 2 years ago, and he told me the exact same thing. He's like, bro, you're Puerto Rican. There's not a lot of Latinos doing what you do. You know how to motivate, and I appreciate that.
So he told you that, and I reinforced this. So what do you need a third person to tell you?
No, that's it. That's it. You know, that God is letting me know this is enough confirmation.
Yeah. So how do people reach out to you, connect with you on Instagram? They want to talk about getting their business credit tight, connect with you in Tampa, or any other the resources that you spoke about today.
Yeah, definitely. The easiest way to get a hold of me is going to be through my cell phone, 813-610-9296. Also, Instagram, make sure you are selecting the real one. There are so many fake ones. I do have a blue check mark, so it's real, REAL, Xavier, XAVIER, Marrero, MARRERO. So real Xavier Marrero. And then Facebook is just Xavier Marrero.
And then if you go to like the 10:30 service at Crossover, you probably see him. Are you the 10:30 or 11?
Man, I do the 11:45.
All right, you can probably catch him there, looking all smooth. He running through the halls. I go in the early one when I can get down there. And yeah, for me, it's the Dad Next Door on IG, Facebook, or the Trash or Cash podcast. You could like go to that. On YouTube, it'd be Trashmitter. If you look that up, we have like the whole playlist, so they'll see the video of this.
Perfect.
And I'll definitely get you the link so you can share with your people. But I really appreciate you coming through today. I'm glad we got to talk. Finally sit down and chop it up like this. So thanks, man. I appreciate you. You got any last words? Like, do you got like a sign off you give people? Like, peace like chicken grease or whatever.
Definitely. Well, first of all, before I do that, I want to thank you for the opportunity. Highly appreciate it. I always love your energy, and I love the ideas you come up with. Right. But yeah, man, everybody knows me, Relentless. Everybody knows that. So relentlesscreditbuilder.com. You can check that out. And yeah, the way I sign off, everybody know, let's get it.
I ain't going to even try to beat that. We out.
Well, that concludes this episode of Trash or Cash. Make sure you follow on all socials at Trashmitter. That's TrashMitter. And keep up with all episodes at trashorcashpodcast.com.